All right, we are here for the third game in this home stand of the series, and this has been really exciting. Jamal Collier here, he's with MLB.com, and he covers the Nats all the time, everywhere.
Yeah.
But did you expect the Nats to go this year to the World Series?
Not at all. I've covered the Nationals my fourth season, and I feel like I've covered some pretty good Nationals teams. And this was not the one that I thought would end up making it all the way. Obviously where they started back in May, everybody kind of talks about. But even just along the season, even they started to make a turnaround. You just always kind of thought that there may be an end at somewhere. You look at just some of the weaknesses they had in their bullpen, or just some of the inconsistencies of the lineup, or just such. But this team kind of put it all together and went on a run here, and it's been really fun to watch.
When did you know they were going to be here?
Oh, I didn't know until about that. Until Howie Kendrick's grand slam landed probably in L.A. I mean, it took that long, I think, for me to probably buy in for sure. The Dodgers were a really, really good team, and I think they caught all the, I've been saying kind of all months, they've caught all the breaks that for the past however many years, teams have been catching against them in October. And I think that's kind of to their credit what you have to do. They've taken advantage anytime that somebody makes an error or a weird managerial decision or whatever, and they've kind of taken off from it. So it took a while for me necessarily to be in and to really think this is actually happening. But once Howie Kendrick, that ball was in the air and about to go over the fence, I thought to myself, like, uh-oh, this seems about to make a bit of a run here.
Yeah. Now, talk about what's going on so far in the World Series. I mean, they win at two away on the road, and then they come back home and lose two. And now this is a big game, right? This third game here at home.
Yeah, I mean, I'm done predicting what's going to happen in this series because every time I think that's going one way and this whole month this is going the other. They're facing a really, really good team. And I think that to knock off this kind of team, which I'm not being hyperbolic when I say it's probably historically great, one of the best teams of all time, probably in baseball that we've seen, a lot of things have to kind of go right. And I think that they put themselves in a really good position those first two games and have kind of gotten back to square one now at, here for Game 5. And to a 3-game series, you're going to have to beat Garrett Cole or Justin Verlander, maybe win a Game 7 on the road at home. So the task becomes a lot more daunting again for the Nats. But, once again, every time you thought this team might not be able to do it, they keep kind of defying our expectations. So, I wouldn't be the one to count them out.
A lot of people thought they couldn't win on the road in Houston against those two pitchers.
Yeah.
But we have two pretty good starting pitchers ourselves, right?
And that's the key, that if you have to do that, you have to kind of face that challenge. These are the guys you would want on the mound. And I think that, Strasburg and Scherzer have been so good pretty much this entire playoffs. They're 8-0 in games that they pitched. They're eating up a lot of their innings, and that's been the key, man. They're gonna ride those starting pitchers as far as they can go and try to carry us to the championship.
Any other keys, if they can take it from here with these last 3 games? It's basically a 2 out of 3 now.
Yeah.
Any other keys?
Yeah, I mean, just the last couple of days, the hits with runners in scoring position, those numbers haven't been where they probably wanted to be. I think those numbers are all kind of fluky. They were really good in the first 2 games, not as good as the last 2. And I think that you kind of just got to have those hits fall where, and that they didn't in the last 2 games. And I don't think that that's anything that their batters are pressing or such. They're facing really good pitching staffs that have been able to pitch to them in those situations. Whoever gets the more hits in those scenarios when you get the runners on base, I think the only thing you can do is just keep putting guys on, keep getting chances, and hopefully a chance that somebody eventually breaks through.
All right, and the excitement here in Washington, just crazy, right? And talk about that, what that means to the city, and also what it means to this team. And just the excitement.
Yeah, it's been incredible. I mean, for somebody coming in just from the outside and knowing how just kind of hungry this fan base was for a winner, and just in general, the talent has been the last couple of between the Capitals, between the Mystics, have kind of been getting excited. But especially just culminating with the Nats and the streets around here are packed around the Navy Yard area. The driving through town, I just feel like anecdotally I see a bunch of Nats jerseys and bar specials and just everything, and people just feel really, really excited. This team is finally making it. It's a very likable team too. Easy to watch them and see how much fun they're having and how much they like each other. So it's been really fun. I hope people enjoy this ride regardless of how it ends, because I think that this has been a special team and a team that people should really remember.
All right, and talking about remembering, we go back to 1933, Major League Baseball World Series, but there was another World Series.
Oh, yeah.
There were several here in Washington, the Negro Leagues.
Yeah.
The D.C. Grays, Homestead Grays, they were here. They won about 8 straight championships. Yeah. And a lot of people don't realize it. I think we got a couple of names right up there in the rafters, Gibson, Leonard, guy Cool Papa Bell. I mean, those guys were pretty strong, and that's something for people to remember, too, that we did have professional baseball World Series.
It's something
here,
that, as a
you
matter
know.
of fact, the last probably couple of days too, I've been reading up on myself as a guy who didn't necessarily grow up here, and you just read about all the history of baseball here. Baseball here has got such a long and complicated history, and I think that that's a huge part of it, and it's a huge part of the winning and the success of this city, and I do hope that it gets adapted a little bit more into just kind of the general fan base and general knowledge, because there were some really good teams and some really fun teams that people are missing out on that they ignore.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Jamal. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.